Welcome to, according to producer Deb, we have to call it the Sideshow. we made that up, and he's like, "How come you guys don't say that anymore?"
Well, because I forgot.
Yeah, but this is the Sideshow chat when we pick a reality show and we talk about it. So currently, we are winding down with Top Chef season 21, I believe.
Swing.
I
have a swing. That's my swing.
Yeah. So anyway, welcome. I don't know what week we're in, but we're at the top 4 this last week and the week before. You know what? It doesn't even matter, honestly. Does anyone care?
No.
No one cares except for the water sponsor and the state of Wisconsin.
True.
They're the only ones that care about anything. They're like, how come your ratings are low?
We're like, BMW.
Oh, BMW. Oh, that's right. They drive them around.
Their big,
the 4.
They must give them a shit ton of money.
The 4 city blocks they're allowed to film in.
Right.
Yeah. Apparently, that was a lot of it, is they couldn't travel outside of this parameter for filming.
Oh.
Which is why we didn't see, how come we didn't get to see Milwaukee? And I'm like, well, first of all, I don't know, because that would have been nice. But you and I were talking about how I don't really know if it was a money. I honestly,
Schmazel.
Yes, I would have loved to have seen that. That would have been so cool.
Yeah.
But it would have been nice to see a little bit more of Wisconsin, other than the 4 or 5 things.
Half the time I forgot they're even in Wisconsin.
It looks like Anywhere USA.
Yeah.
There's nothing...
I mean, and they're not, they're in the Top Chef kitchen almost the whole time, except for the restaurant.
Where they were on some
the one
boardwalk.
they just did.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have 2 episodes to cover. The first one was when Michelle was sent out.
Yeah, she needed
for those
to go.
terrible tablescapes that she did,
which I thought was a dumb.
It was the tiniest little tablescape. She smushed.
I didn't understand what she was doing.
She didn't understand what she was
clearly.
doing. What sucks is really good chefs, and she is a very good chef from what I've read and what I've seen. Her food looks amazing, and she has a wonderful person. She would have been a great top 3, frankly. She would have been a great top 3, except that she kind of forgot who she was. She was trying to be something more than she just was. And when that happens, they do weird stuff like smushing everything together on this giant IKEA table.
She struggled, she said, from the beginning with finding inspiration for that challenge. She's I just couldn't think of anything.
She did have some protein cooking issues throughout the entire series.
I knew she wasn't going to make it all the way.
Which was always so surprising as a pitmaster, you would think. But anyway, I digress. So she was sent home, even though Mandy probably could have gone home. But
that episode,
because he made risotto. We were all hopeful. We're so hopeful.
Is this going to be the guy that's going to pull off risotto?
No. Never. No one does.
And why does there always have to be that one chef that's going to be like, well, I know nobody else has been able to do it, but I'm going to do it?
Because they have egos.
All of them. I'm like, and have you not watched all 21 seasons of this show where everyone's done that?
Or rice. When people say, hey, we're making rice dishes, everybody starts sweating.
Right?
Because they're like, oh my God, we have to make rice. This is a horror. Because the timing
is so
It either gets gummy, it dries, it's undercooked, or you wait too long to cook it. And they're like, I call this al dente. And they're like, oh, do you? We call it undercooked.
Did you want it to be crunchy? Yes, I did. I was trying for texture.
So Michelle goes home and everybody's not even outraged. They're like, how can you even defend it? You can't.
They're not even sad on this one. When they're leaving, it used to be this huge letdown where they'd cry.
And they're all bye.
But this time they're like, I'm just really proud. I'm so glad I was here.
This has really filled out my my thoughts on cooking.
Well, and at that point, if you've made it to the top 5,
that's pretty good.
I forgot he was up there. It's pretty good, and you're going to be in a lot of promotional stuff for Top Chef.
Plus,
they will use you for all kinds of stuff,
and they're all going to return to be Sue's for the top 3.
That's what I meant.
At least most of
that
them will
too.
be.
Yeah, and they'll be at the Food and Film Wine Festival, whatever it is. They're not going to be the winner, but they'll be there.
Do you think that someone's going to choose Manny as a sous chef in the finale? I wouldn't. I would not.
It depends on if they do. Sometimes they'll do you get to choose. Sometimes they'll do draw a knife and that's who you get. Or taste these dishes and the one you like the most, that's your sous chef. And then it's the worst person. They're like,
I just can't. I could not. I'd be like, formal protest. I can't. I'm sorry.
Many chefs have.
He can't cook a fish or a meat.
Yeah.
I can't. I couldn't. I wouldn't give him anything really responsible to do. I'd be like, can you cut a vegetable, please?
I feel like some of them have gotten kind of PC too, because like he did his, they were like, let's make a dish based on your growth from Top Chef. And he's like,
God.
I want to go back to my roots. I want to beat the people of Mexico. Which again, is fine. Right? And it's like, okay, great. But that's not really the challenge.
It had nothing to do with anything.
And then your dish was just average.
Well, the fish was raw.
Yeah, that's
raw.
right.
They're like, mine's raw. And they're like, what?
They're like, we were like, mine's delicious.
Mine's beautifully cooked. And I'm like, well, Tom gets, funny how Tom always gets the bad fish.
I know, huh?
It's hilarious. But anyway, so Manny was sent home finally. I think there was a big sigh of relief that he wasn't going to have some strange spark of genius.
Right.
The only complaint that I'm currently having is, and Tom was interviewed, he had also mentioned his slight frustration with the quickfire challenges. He doesn't see value in them anymore. He's like, I don't even know why we do them. I'd rather get rid of them and do a longer elimination challenge every time. And then, but the debate is, these are sponsored challenges.
That's true.
And they're like, that's how they win money. That's how they win any perks for the elimination challenge.
It's also how they get to know the chefs, the audience.
True.
Like we see their personality.
Yes. But Tom is expressing himself a little more than he used to, and I'm not hating it.
Maybe it's because Padma's gone.
I agree. I feel like Gail and Tom's personalities have blossomed a bit this time, and I also think it's because they're like, yo, she's new. We need to step up a bit.
Yeah.
I will say this is the first episode of the entire season that I thought Kristen did great. Like I really liked her.
Yeah, I knew she'd get better.
She's warmed up a bit.
I knew she would.
Yes.
The more they did it, that she would get better.
And like Padma, she gets emotional when she has to send someone she really, really likes home. And like next week's, I guess it's this week's episode when they're getting to the top 3, she gets a little emotional. I'm like, I'm getting a little emotional, Kristen. Jeez, you're really expressing yourself. I love it.
The trailer for, I don't know if the next episode will be the finale or if they'll have one more. It's clearly the very end, and she's like, when we announced Top Chef, she started like
I did too. I'm like,
yeah,
Kristen.
I was like, she's right. I mean, that is the beauty of her being a former contestant.
Yes, and it's her first winner for her, and I just think it's great. So, and we've always said that
she does know how it feels to win.
We do, and we have always maintained that we like her a lot. What I don't know if it's production or if she's truly warmed up to the position, but this was the best she's looked and engaged with everybody to me anyway.
I agree.
Maybe because it's a smaller group of chefs now. Maybe
I hope they give her a better fucking season next year if they're going to keep her.
Seriously, can we do something amazing?
She's probably like, okay, my first season of Top Chef. Where are we going? Wisconsin.
Oh.
And a cruise for the finale. It's like,
really?
Why can't we go to Italy or Macau, China, like the times you went before?
Why are we doing
London?
Why are we doing the Disneyland version of a vacation?
I'd be so annoyed.
I'd be like, come on, you guys. I mean, they could go back to New York. That would be. They haven't done New York in a minute.
They haven't. Yeah,
that would be awesome for her.
They've exhausted California.
They've done several of the Californias, but I mean,
they always go to LA, which is so annoying to me.
They have not done Napa yet.
They went there for a challenge when they were doing San Francisco.
But they could, Napa and San Francisco are pretty close together.
No, they are, but I think they could
do.
They could almost do a whole season there. It's so beautiful.
Oh God, there's so many regions.
Well, the coast in general, the Northern California coast is so beautiful. To me, it would be endless.
We're a little impartial, but I mean, can you deny? True. You can't deny.
People come from all over the world to see the coast.
When we talk about that, we're like,
or Lake Tahoe for Christ's
sakes. They could do Chicago again. They could revisit some top. Maybe from the beginning they did, and then go back and do those.
I love watching the comments when people are talking about places that they should have the show, and they're like, "When are you coming to Podunk, Texas? We love you here." I'm like, "Yeah," because they're gonna run to.
I don't understand why they don't come to Oklahoma. We have a wonderful.
They actually did do Oklahoma.
They did. I know.
And it wasn't. No, it was Kentucky. My bad.
They did Kentucky.
It wasn't Oklahoma.
They did, but they could do an Ohio one. But I guess they've done an Ohio one. I don't know.
Idaho.
Oh no. Anyway, sorry.
People protested when they did Texas.
Well, there were political reasons for that,
but
for sure. But it worked out.
It did work out. It was a good season.
They actually addressed it. They addressed all the controversy, which I thought was very, very wise. Yeah. Anyway, with all that being said,
it's Top Chef for God's sake.
I'm Team Savannah. I'm ready for her to win.
I think she's the one to beat.
Laura also. I think they're the two.
Too.
Danny needs to be knocked down a couple pegs. I don't mean Dan with the cane. I mean Danny.
Oh, I thought you meant Dan with the cane.
No, Danny thinks
he's not going to win
highly of himself.
I think he's going to get eliminated. Well, it's either going to be him or Dan, but I don't think they're going to eliminate Dan because we all kind of love Dan and his little peg leg, you know.
We do, and not only that, he's the local fave.
He is the local fave, and he's older,
and he makes good food. They've liked everything he's done.
He's solid. He's solid in his execution.
Danny
he hasn't really screwed up.
Danny's like, every time somebody other than him wins, which has been, you know, a hot minute, he's just like, I just don't understand. I have the best food. You can see it on his face. Yeah. And they're like, you think this is subtle?
Right? That was cute.
It tastes like crap.
Yeah.
They just don't like his food. He had one great thing. Why is he
still here?
Well, because, I mean,
it was between him and Manny.
Manny and Michelle had to go. And then after that, you know, and then Danny does produce food, and at least he executes. They just don't really like the taste. Right. So what are you going to do?
Well,
anyway.
We'll see how long he lasts.
So, so now they're off to Curacao, and they're going to probably do some beach shenanigans, and then they'll get on the boat for the finale. The only thing I'm excited about is Morimoto. He's the chef of that cruise line, so that'll be nice.
That will be nice. I do love me some Morimoto.
He's so thin. Did you see how thin he was?
Did he take Ozempic too?
No, I just think he's older, and you know,
Scott Disick is.
It happens.
He's a rail of a human now.
I know. I'm so annoyed.
I know. I think the Ozempic thing has really caught on, and
you know what? No one will give it to me.
Well, I've heard it's expensive. Oh, you could probably, But I hear, they'll prescribe it to you, but it's like $1,000 a month to take it.
No, I could.
And I don't know how long you need to take it in order to like get your achieved weight.
No.
And I just have a feeling that celebrities will do anything. They.
Yeah. Well, that's their bodies, their brand.
Yeah, I agree. But it's like there's got to be. You feel like shit.
Speaking of
side effects and stuff,
I saw a photo of Manit. Chef Manit.
She's so thin.
Dude.
She did the same goddamn thing.
She's so tiny and little. And I'm like, why are you doing that? She was stunning before. I just don't know. Thin isn't always in sometimes. It's okay to have a booty and a butt and a little pooch.
Agree. And in fact, the thinner you go when it's not naturally thin like that, you look old.
Do you know how many people have said they don't trust tiny chefs, thin chefs?
Yeah, like Giada.
Oh, well.
Her and her head.
I saw her on, she has a TikTok thing now, and she's doing some kind of membership thing. And she was, I can't remember.
She doesn't have any shows or anything.
Nothing.
Right now.
So she's doing TikTok with, and she's always wearing see-through sunglasses like J-Lo every time
she's
on there. God. I'm like, she's like, well, I'm in my kitchen. I'm getting ready to make Jade something. And I'm like, what is it? A pea pebble?
I'm going to let Jade eat some broccolini today.
I'm going to try to get her to eat her favorite dish. And I'm like, what?
Quinoa and vegetables.
Of a leaf. And a half of a tomato.
You can eat this, and it's delicious.
And it's nutritious.
Yeah. You don't have to throw it up afterwards.
You don't have to spit it in a bucket.
Right?
Oh, my God.
I can't with her. I used to really like Giada.
I loved her, too. She fell into the trap that a lot of people do.
She just got way too, what do you call it? She got a little too close to the sun.
She did fly a little too close to the sun.
Yes, she got divorced and,
all hell broke loose after that. After her foray with Bobby Flay and John Mayer.
This is not Top Chef-esque, but I'm telling you, like, I've been watching this whole Bethany Frankel thing. They're like, the fall of Bethany Frankel.
What are you talking about? She's rich and fine.
She's very rich.
She don't care.
But according to the naysayers, she can't get a job. Like, she can't get on TV anymore, and she's desperate. And
she's not desperate. I don't think she's doing just fine on TikTok.
She's doing all right on TikTok, yeah. But and the thing is she doesn't need
goes
to
everywhere.
work. She doesn't have to do a damn thing. Like she's made so much
I think
money
she's
off
independently wealthy.
No. She tells her story on her TikTok all the time. She's like, I was fucking broke.
Oh, I love her story.
She's like, what made me rich?
Hustled.
She's like, what made me rich is selling Skinny Girl.
Yeah.
She's like, I had no money. I wasn't making any money on Skinny Girl. Mm-mm. She's like, it was like people liked the idea of it,
so they bought it.
And then this huge company came to me and was like, look, we'll give you, in what'd she say, double, multi-million. Anyway, I think she ended up making like 40 or 50 million off the deal.
I mean, I could live off of that.
That's a ton of money.
I could do it. Anyway, so any weird predictions for Top Chef?
Honestly, I think it's Laura's and Savannah's to lose.
I agree. I hope they get good Sues. That's all I care
Yeah.
about. I would pick. In fact, I'd pick Sue.
Well, the
immediately.
thing that sucks about the finale is that, you know, the whole show's like that, is like one cook can send you home. I know. So you can be amazing all season, and then if you fuck up, then you're done. You know, they're not going to pick you and be like, well, you did good before, so you're fine. No, they don't.
No.
So like anything can happen. You know, anything can happen. You can just have a bad day.
What if the guy from San Francisco shows up as a Sue option?
Oh, please.
The very first guy,
Tom
David.
Would never.
I would be like, oh, I'll take David.
I don't even think
impossibly
he's in the,
refreshed.
You know how they like do the face of the chefs?
Yeah,
I don't even think he's on there.
I think he was in the promo for a minute. But they might have changed it. I don't know. I read that he was embarrassed.
Why? Of the way he acted, or
just the whole thing? He was embarrassed, so he just was like, I'm done. I'm out. He didn't want to do Last Chance Kitchen. Nothing.
That could be, but
that's fine.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's a lot of fucking effort to get on the show, and then be
years.
like, never mind.
Years of effort. With that being said, I think we only have 1 or 2 shows, and then we'll recap the whole thing, and then we'll be done, and we're moving on to our next reality show, which I believe is going to be Alone. Which starts this week.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Oh my God, we're going to meet all the contestants.
And I am going to start watching the new Captain Lee show. I haven't watched it yet.
I want a brief recap of that.
We'll do a report out on that.
Yes, I'm curious about that. The true crime one.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Okay, I'm so
excited.
It's
like all your favorite things.
Yay! I love Captain Lee.
All right, talk to you next time. Bye.